Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. I am Old Man 102. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to working in Giants Editor on the new 4X map. So, I'm going to bring the farmhouse in just so we have it while we're building around it. So I'm going to go to my placeables. Let's grab the farmhouse dimensions. It's going to be minus 180. 0, minus 180 on the rotation. So let's grab that. We're going to throw it in here. And we're going to go minus 180 and minus 180. So that's going to get that where that needs to go. Now on the flats map, I have that red garage slash barn in the middle of the yard, but I can't remember if it's the stable or if it's the garage or if it's the tiny shed 01. So let's go into map. I think I would have put it under main farm. Yeah, placeables, main farm, placeables, main farm. So let's go into that folder. So map, placeables, main farm. Do I have to store photos in here? I don't, because they're referring to the in-game one. It's not the farmhouse. I'm thinking, let's look at stable 01 and garage 01. So I'm going to look at garage 01. I'm going to look at stable 01. So we have to go in game. So it's going to be data placeables map US. Yeah, data placeables map US. So let's go into the program files, Steam apps, common, FarmSim25, data, maps, map US, stable 01. Where would you be? That would have been the path. Data placeables, hang on. Data placeables, map US. That would have been stable 1. Nope, it's not the one I want. So it's definitely not stable 101. So let's look at garage 01. So it's going to be the same path. Map US. Garage 01. And that's the one we want. So we're going to grab garage 01 i3D. And we're going to go garage 01. I'm going to go file, export selection with files. We're going to go map. I'm going to drop it into remove because we're not going to need to keep the i3D in the map folder. So we're going to refer back to the in-game. So it's going to be garage 01. Grab that. I won't need any of the files, other files, because I already have them. Don't need the props. Won't need to store photo. I don't think I'm going to need anything. I want to leave that open because there's some more stuff we're going to want to grab out of there. So let's go file, import. Let's bring in garage 01. Now where do we want to start building our... I think I want to put maybe storage sheds over. Let's bring this over this way. So I want to start building around it over here. I really don't want to crowd it in. I almost want to move this silo complex over a little bit. We're going to repaint the texture. I want to bring this over a little bit, and we're going to have to change this position. Oh, we don't have it in the editor yet. That's fine. We'll leave it there. But yeah, I think I'm going to bring that over a little bit, and that's going to give me room to get the sheds and stuff in that I want. Let's get you square to the world. Because this one we'll be able to open the doors. We'll be able to figure out where we're going to build our repair shop. We'll repaint the texture on the ground. So that'll be the first garage I want to get in. And I think I want to pull it up this way a little bit. We can start building around it. I may even pull the silo up a little bit. Just to get a little bit better position. Alright, so let's do this real quick. We're going to probably mess around with textures more than once. A lot of times I'll come in and I'll start putting a whole bunch of buildings in, and I'll end up rearranging them. And I'll usually change up the arrangement several times until I finally get it the way I like it. Alright, so that's going to be one of the sheds I want to get in. Now I also have a couple of other buildings that I found on the in-game mod hub, and this is one of them. I want to put a few of these in. And we're going to rename it. So let's go File, let's go, actually before I do that, how bad are the textures? Okay, there's only a couple textures, so it's not going to be a big file. So let's go File, Export Selections. I guess we will just call it Awning. Let me just call it Awning 01 in case I bring another one in. So I'm gonna need, let's go back into, actually where did I drop that? Crap, I dropped it in the remove folder. I did. Let's go ahead and delete that out. Let's try this again. Let me get it in the right folder this time. Alright, so I'm going to go File, Export Selection with Files. This time I want to go Map, I'm going to go Placeables, we're going to go Main Farm, we're going to go, let's go Awning 01. I'm going to need this, the icon, and the store picture. So let's copy those, Map, Placeables, Main Farm. So let's go File, Import, let's bring in this. Ooh, cool, I like that. So it's going to be an open awning where we can park vehicles in. Now, do I want to set it up where it's a drive-through? I don't think so. I think we're going to go, just put you there for now. And we can put a few of those in if we want them. So that's one of the ones I want to bring in. But we got a lot of XML work to do. Hang on. So let's bring up where'd the XML go? We're going to rename this. Crap, Did I delete it? I did. Hang on. I do that all the time. Let's go restore. So let's go main farm. So we're going to rename this awning 01. All right, we're going to go awning 01. I'm going to leave the store picture where it is, but we're going to have to change the path to map placeables main farm. The function I think we can leave go. That's going to be sheds map placeables. Yeah, so that is going to be all good. Let's go back into the farmhouse. Now the farmhouse, I'm going to go show in store. I'm going to change that to false because you're not going to be able to buy the farmhouse. And then we're going to do the same thing. I need to put these into the awning. Can be sold. True. We're going to actually show in store. False. Can be sold. True. Placeables building sheds. And then we renamed this to awning 01. AWNING01, but I also need map placeables main farm. That's going to go there. And then we're going to change. There's no icons. Okay, so there's nothing to interact with. Map placeables main farm awning 01. Map placeables main farm awning. I'm going to leave the store. I'm not going to rename. Let's just, to be consistent, let's rename that as well. And then so let's go in here and we will rename this. I don't need the store. Actually, I don't need the icon folder in here. You can delete that out. So we're not going to see it, or we're not going to sell it, I don't think. Let's come in here. So the store I do have to rename. So it'll throw in a warning or an error if we don't have it. All right. So we have the folder set up to spawn that in as a placeable. The other thing I want to look at, that's the in-game one. You're the flats map. I'm going to leave you open for a minute. All right, so new folder. There is a garage I also want to look at. And there's two different sizes. There's an open one. Is it all, can we drive through this one? We can't. So we have this open one. I could have left that open. And then we have hangar 2, which is a covered shed. The other one we're bringing in is an open shed. But they kind of sort of match. So let's go File, Export Selection with Files. I'm going to place them in the main farm. We're going to leave it hangar 02 on this one. And then we're going to grab this one as well. We'll File, Export Selection with Files, hangar 01. Now I'm going to need the XMLs, so let's copy those. We'll bring those over, and then we're also going to need the store photos. So we will copy those. We will paste those over. So let's bring those in. So let's go File, Import, hangar 1, file import hangar 2. I'm liking those. Let's leave those there a minute. We're going to have to fix. So let me close the grain silo for now. Let me close that for now. Let me close garage for now. We're not going to get any of these permanently in place today. I don't think. I don't think we're going to have that much time. But we can always reopen them. So let's close that one for now as well. So let's come in here. And I want to look at this one as well. This is an open garage. It's a different color than the other ones, but it's really deep. I think we can put longer implements in this one. So let's go File, Export Selection with Files. Let's go Garage, Open. And now we're going to need the XML for it. And we're going to need the store icon. Alright, so we have those in the map folders. So hangar 1, so garage open, we're going to need to fix. Hangar 1, we're going to need to fix. And hangar 2, we're going to need to fix. Alright, so let's go with garage open first. The function, I'm going to change it just to make sure it doesn't throw an error. We have to go map placeables main farm. So we have to fix the path. Brand, I'm going to go none. Price, so garage open map placeables main farm, I3D is fixed. And then we need can be sold, true, show in store. I'm going to change that to false. And then we need, where is it? These here. And then do you have any icons? You have power switches, you have lights, light trigger, solar panels. So we're going to get income per hour from that. No, we're not, because I'm going to disable it, I think. So let's get rid of the solar panels. And I don't think we need the color configurations. Because we're building it in. Let's leave it for now and see if it throws an error. And I think we should be good with the open garage. Now hanger, let's do the same thing. Let's go hanger 01. Function could be hanger 01. We're going to need to change a couple things. Can be sold true, show in store. We're going to go false. I need, let's change this one. And then I need to go farmhouse. We need to go map placeables main farm. So this store photo and the i3D both need to be fixed. Let me just look through the rest of the XML. So it has lights as well. So that one should be good to go. So let's go to hanger 2. Let's go. Let's change the function. Let's go bring the price down a little bit. Show in store, we need to go false. Let's come over here. Let's grab this. Move this to here. And then we need to grab map placeables main farm. When we go to spawn these in as a placeable, we'll have all this already fixed. And store photo. All right, and I think, so your XML now looks good. So let's go file, import. We're going to bring in, I thought that I brought in garage open. Yeah, let's go file, import. Let's bring in hanger 1. Or are those hangers 1 and 2? Those are hangers 1 and 2. Okay. So I do want kind of sort of lots of storage on this map. So you're going to be the garage 1. So this one, let's bring you down. Let's go grab something real quick so I can get my spacing right. I'm going to duplicate that tree. We're going to go edit cut. I'm going to throw it into the main farm transform group. So it's in with the rest of the trees on the main farm. So I want to put that big tree right here in the corner. Yeah, now we can sort of come back in here. So this is you. I want to put one here, I think. And then we're going to pull another one back, but I think I want to get these close together where they kind of almost sort of look like one building. Yeah, I like that. All right. Now, let's grab grab this one. Sometimes it's hard to see, you get a shadow where how close to the fence I am. Do I want to leave room for a row of trees? You know what? Let's pull you in for a minute. I know. I do this all the time. Let's pull you in for a minute. Let's pull you in for a minute. And then let me do something here real quick. I want to grab foliage, meadow, harvest ready, square brush, limit texture to grass. Let's paint in. I just want to now let's go over this way. So I want to grab this tree group. I am going to duplicate it because I don't want to move this one. And let's go edit, cut. I'm going to throw it into the main farm. So we know it's in with the trees for the main farm. So I'm going to go edit interactive placement. Yeah, so let's get you going this way. So 0, 0, 0. And let's get this guy about here. Yeah, okay. That. So we are going to line this with trees. So let's duplicate that. Let's run it this way. And let's get it. Where do I want it? Yeah, about there. Now we can build off of those. All right, so now this guy, we can pull you back. Anything showing through? No, we don't. All right. So, and then this guy, let's grab this. Let's grab the Z position, and when I'm going to go copy. Oh, not the one I wanted. Okay. Undo. Oh, that's going to move both of them. All right, never mind. That didn't work as planned. Let me come back up here and close all this crap that I accidentally opened. All right, so let's get this first one put back in place. So it's the X position I want. So I'm going to grab that X position. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to paste. That's going to put it right where I want it. So they're going to be lined up perfectly to where I wanted them. All right, so let's take this guy and we'll pull him back. Now, I may move those again. If I slide this back, it's going to block that bay. Because these are also set up where they're long and skinny. Do I want to reverse these? Well, I don't have to crowd that in either. But I want plenty of room to park vehicles here. I almost don't like that one. I'm going to slide this one down for a minute. We may take that one out of the... let's pull you over for a minute. Are you guys going to be too skinny to get wide equipment in there? Yeah, this one's going to be more friendly to get wide equipment in there than this one is. Now this one we can get wide equipment in. Let's look at that again. So let's go. You are hangar 2. Let's bring you back. Yeah, I want to pull these out. So I want more room in that corner. So there goes my perfect alignment. Yeah, that's going to be much better. Now if I stick you over here in this corner, I don't feel like I'm going to be boxed in. And let's leave a little open spot there. We can like a little open parking area there. And then we could take hangar 1. No, let's bring... I don't know if I like this guy, to be honest with you. That one we may ditch that one. Let me get the back side of these lined up. Oh, now my trees are in the way. Alright, you're good there. Let's pull you down. Let's leave a space. No, let's butt you up. Let's get you up close to this one. I like how that looks. Now does the roof come through? It does not. Beautiful. I like how that looks. And I think I'll want one more. I definitely like how that looks. Now, we do need a repair bay though, and I haven't brought one in. We can set our own little one up, which I may do like right here. We may do a fuel tank repair bay like right here. Is that going to be enough vehicle storage? Alright, so this is garage open. I'm not going to use that one, so let's clean up the files. So, garage open. I don't need the XML. Let me delete it out of here first. Alright, so garage open I'm not going to need. So let's delete that. Store garage open I'm not going to need. And then the garage open. I'm not going to need those. I believe that's everything that I had for garage open. Yeah, so the hangers we need. The pallet trigger we're done with because we imported that, so we could delete that out. And then the bail trigger we are done with. We can delete that out. Alright. So that should get us those. Now, there is one more I do want. There are actually maybe two that I want. Let's go into map, mods, mountain, map, placeables, main farm. Is it the garage or is it the garage 2 that has the repair bay? It is not garage, it must be garage 2. Yes, garage 2 has the repair bay. So let's go file, export selection with files. Now we're going to go Richie Swamp Map Main Farm. And I'm just going to keep it consistent. Let's just call it garage 02. So I need garage 2, garage 2. So we'll rename this. Let's pull up the other folder. Alright, so we're going to need the XML. And I'm going to need the store. Garage 2. Now, unfortunately, since I named the i3D Garage 02, let's rename this really quick. So let's go Garage 02. And let's rename this one really quick to Garage 02. And then we're going to have to go Garage 02. That is the i3D Garage 2 or Garage 02? Garage 02. So we're going to have to rename the Garage 02 as well. So everything else should be set up. So we should be able to spawn this in as a placeable when we're ready. Now this may throw a monkey wrench in the whole works. A little bit of grass in there for now. So if we go File, Import, and we bring in Garage 02. Yeah, I think that's going to work out well. Let's go -90. And this has a repair bay in it. I believe it has a repair bay in it. Oh no, I added the repair bay in separate. Never mind. But we're gonna use this as our repair bay, I think. So we'll put a repair bay there, and we'll put our gas tank right there. So we're gonna need a couple more things in the map, but let's give you a little bit more room so you're not as crowded. Now this barn in the middle needs a little bit more room. And then I almost want to put the silo complex in the middle, but let's put all of our storage stuff and all of our vehicle stuff together, like right here. Now, debating whether I want to turn this. If I turn it, do I have enough room to drive in and out? I actually think we do. Yeah, because we can pull a combine in from this side, and we can pull a combine in from that side. And the reason I want to turn this, and then we'll have enough room to back vehicles in over there. Yep, because I want to bring in, there's one more thing I want to bring in. Well, let's do a quick save. Let me hang on, get a little my desk. It's getting dark. Let me grab my desk light so I can see. All right. So now I want to go into. Let's go into. Okay, that's the main map file. There's one or two things I want to pull out of the main map file yet, so I don't want to close that quite yet. Let's go into. Yep, the Ritchie's Mountain map. I want the. I think it's the tunnel large. Yeah. So let's go File, Export Selection with Files, Swamp Map, Main Farm. We're going to go. So I actually want to name it exactly the same. Storage. UNNEL large. This way it's consistent. So I'm going to need a tunnel large. Let's copy that. Let's bring that over. And I'm going to need to store tunnel large. And let's bring that over. Now let's go close on that. Let's go File, Import, Storage Tunnel Large. Now I want something I can pull other leave room to get in there. I want room to put other large implements in. Yeah, there's going to be tons of storage on this map for vehicles. And I think I want to put 2 of them in. Do I want 3 of them in? It's maybe overkill on storage, but we're going to run a large-scale operation off of this main farm. I know, you're going to think I'm crazy because there's one more shed I want to bring in. But I'm actually liking how this is looking. And I've got an idea of how to fill the rest of this space in. Now we're going to have some extra room on the main farm. I may put I may put 2 fields in here actually instead of 1. Now, let's go into the main map, the in-game. So this is data, FarmSim25 main game files. Let's go placeables. Let's go brand lists. No, it is going to be placeables. Easy Sheds, and it's Easy Shed 03. Believe that's the one I want. It is. So let's go File, Export Selection of Files. Now I do not need to keep this one in the map, so I'm going to throw it in the Remove folder. And we're going to go Easy Shed 03. And then don't need the star photo because we're going to refer back to it, but I do need a copy of the i3D, and that's actually going to go in the placeables main farm folder. There's two more things we're going to need to pull out of here. One is, let's go back to data. There's a fuel tank I want. I believe it's is it this one? Where's the store photo? Actually, yeah, let's grab that one. So I'm going to need the i3D, and we don't need to keep it in the map files. So let's go File, Export Selection of Files. I'm going to throw it in the Remove folder. Fuel tank. Doesn't matter what it's named because it's not going to stay in the map. So let's just save it. That's going to be the fuel tank. Now I do need a copy of the XML. So that's the fuel tank. And then the other thing we're going to need is the doghouse. And we're going to go File, Export Selection File. This is another one I don't need to keep in the files. So let's grab the doghouse, and I'm actually going to grab, I think that's everything I need out of the main farm folder. So let's close that. Let's go to the mountain map, placeables, main farm, and there should be a doghouse XML in here. I'm going to copy that one out, and we're going to throw it in there. So that'll give us the doghouse as well. So let's go back to the main farm a minute, because I forgot to throw this in here when we were building this. So let me clear out a little bit of grass for now. We can always put it back. So I'm going to go File, Import. I want to bring the doghouse in. Let's put it, it doesn't have to be straight. Let's go like minus 28. So let's grab texture. Let's grab a little bit of dirt. Okay, we don't want that much dirt. Let's grab a little bit of dirt. A little bit of dirt around the doghouse, just so we can see him, and then we could put the meadow back. So let's spawn this as a placeable and get it completely working so we don't have to worry about that. So let's come back up here. So now I need the mountain map config file, I need the placeables file. So we're going to pull the doghouse out of here. And then we got to put it in our placeables folder. So under the main farm, we will have the doghouse. We're going to have to change the position and rotation, but I also need in the store items, I need the doghouse. Main farm doghouse. I need this in the mod description for the new map, and I also need it in the store folder for the new map. So that gets us all the information that we can tell it to spawn into the map. And then I need these coordinates, so let's copy that one. Let's replace this one. Our height is going to be 25. And then I need this coordinate. And then our rotation is going to be 180 minus 28 minus 180. Alright, so that should now spawn in as a placeable, so we don't need that in the map anymore. That we have working. Now, let's bring in Easy Shadow 3. Now, I want to be able to park. I want to be able to drive vehicles into here. Like, I like parking my truck where I can just drive through it. And I think we're going to put you next to these guys. Kind of sort of here. We'll park. I like parking my harvesters and vegetable root crop harvesters and stuff there, and I like parking my tractor trailers. Actually, I want this the other way. Let's go 0, 0, 0. Yeah, 0, 0, 0. So let's pull it this way. So let's line you guys back up. Try and get it kind of sort of even. Yeah, so that's going to be much better. So I like how this main farm is starting to shape up. Now, over here I think we're going to put the composter, the grass dryer, seed maker, fertilizer maker. I think we'll line these up like right here. Probably the garden and the mixing station so we can make our own animal feed. We'll probably line those up right here. But I think this is going to be the main farm complex in the way of silos and sheds. I really like how that's starting to look. Now this main road is going to change again, so let's get rid of let's get rid of some of this dirt texture. Pull you back. Now, do I want the main farmyard dirt or do I want the main farmyard concrete and gravel? I know I definitely want like asphalt or concrete one of those over here. So let's go back to our texture. Brushes on square. Do I want concrete industrial? What do you look like? Definitely not that. Alright, so we have, I think I'm just going to go with the regular asphalt. So let's get this painted back in. Now that I have it where I want it. And I'm going to want room to drive around, so let's come out a little bit. I'm half tempted to pretty much concrete this hole. And again, I'm going to want room to drive around this side as well. So let's bring it out to where our road's going to come in. So I'm definitely going to want to be able to drive through on this side. Now, do I want to give myself a little bit more room? No, I think we're good there. So over here, let's leave room to park a vehicle here as well. Let's pull this down for now. And now we can fill this in. Now I'm gonna make that a little bit bigger, but so I'll have our main road coming in. Do I want to move this down a little bit further? I think I do. So give ourselves a little bit more room. So we'll have our main road coming in. And I think I'm going to angle this back. I'm liking that. We'll come back to you. So let's get our paintbrush going over here. Just come all the way down to. Now we still have to get all of these spawning in as placeables, but that's probably not going to happen tonight. Now let's go to this one. And we'll do the same thing. Take you down. Do I want room? Let's leave room on this side in case you want to put like a placeable or something down. Park a vehicle here, maybe some implements. Let's leave a little bit more. Let's leave a little bit of room on that side. But I think, let's come back over here for a second. Let me do a quick save. Oh, maybe we will get all these working and spawning in as placeables today. We'll see. Now, how far back are we going? I don't know yet. Let's leave room to put a vehicle there. This is where I need to make the tough decisions. I think, because we're going to put some other stuff along here, so I think most of this is going to end up being concrete. Again, because I want to leave plenty of room to drive around these with like tractor trailers and big equipment. But I don't want it to be completely like industrial looking either. We'll go in game, we'll see if we like it. Well, we got to put all the foliage and trees and everything else in as well. Now you're going to come out to about here, I think, or you may go all the way over. You're going to need I almost want to pull this silo back a little bit further. Yeah, not what I wanted. I'm going to leave grass in that corner. So now you get filled in. Now, I don't know how far over that way I want to go yet. So I'm thinking maybe along here for now until we figure out what I'm going to put there. I'm thinking it's going to be like I said, composter and grass dryer and that kind of stuff along there. That's going to be missing something. What am I going to want to put there? I think we may just line this with trees and leave it grass. And I think we're going to leave this area here grass. I guess I'm going to have field and stuff over here. And then the rest of this area back here is going to be all animal barns. Now, none of these are going to be working. None of these are going to spawn in as placeables yet. But I'll take a peek and see if I like it in game, or if I want to move and change anything. Now, none of the doors are going to work. None of the light switches are going to work, because none of them are spawning in as placeables. Because we haven't done any of the XML work yet. But I just want to visually see if I like them. Let's grab an empty slot. And again, I'm going to turn this on every time just to make sure nothing's throwing any warnings or errors. Now the doghouse should be working. And then I'm going to want to change the the career start point as well, now that we know where the house is. Grab my Xbox One control. So far no warnings or errors. Yeah, we're not going to start here at the shop. We're actually going to start back at the main farm. And no doghouse. Alright, let me see what I did wrong. So we have the dog, but no doghouse. I didn't set the right position. I don't think I did. But we'll have to go back in and fix the doghouse. And we have to get the fuel tank in and the repair. So the fuel tank's going to go here. I'll probably put the repair bay on this side, and then maybe we'll find a wash station. We can put down a wash station or a wash bay there. I really like these sheds. We're going to be able to put some big equipment in here. I like these sheds because, again, it's nice and deep. We can put some decent equipment in there. These are nice and deep for some equipment. We can even dump root crops in there if you want. And then we have this to put our harvesters in, our root crop harvesters in, and we have this to line our tractor trailers up in. Now again, we're going to have grass and trees and foliage and stuff in here as well, and then that will not be white because it's not spawning in as a placeable, so it's not working yet. But I think I like the setup of this farmyard. So we got to fix the doghouse. I got to see why that's not spawning in properly. But I think I like it. So let's work on getting all of that working. And spawning in as placeables. Alright, so what did I do wrong with the doghouse? So let's check the map files. Actually, let's check the log and see if it's through any errors I didn't see. So let's scroll up to the top on the log. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go Control Find. Let's look for errors. We don't have any errors. Look for warnings. So there's no warnings, there's no errors. So now I don't know why the doghouse did not spawn in. So let's go back to the placeables folder. Map directory, main farm, doghouse XML. Main farm, placeables. Placeables main farm. And main farm is spelled with a capital F. So that may be the problem. Everything else wants to spawn in with a lowercase f. So let's look at something really quick. So our farmhouse has a lowercase f. So let's come back here and let's rename this with a lowercase f. So that's probably why it did not spawn in. So there's our problem. So that's why the doghouse didn't spawn in, because it's reading the wrong location, and it's doghouse all lowercase. Just make sure that's correct. Doghouse all lowercase, main farm lowercase f. So we should be good there. Lowercase f here, lowercase f here. Our farmhouse, which is working, is a lowercase f, so we're good there. So that's probably why the doghouse did not spawn in. It did not read the XML, and then the XML reads, oh, I do need the doghouse in the i3D file. Oh, that's the farmhouse. It's not the doghouse. No, the doghouse is reading the main map folder, so I don't need the i3D. I don't need the store photo because it's reading the main map files. So the doghouse should now spawn in properly because I fixed our lowercase versus uppercase F. Now, grain silo. So let's look at, grain silo I did not keep. So doghouse we should be done with. I don't need to make any changes to that. That's the mountain map. Let's close that. This is the mountain map. Let's leave that open for a minute. Actually, I needed the store one open as well. But anyway, we'll come back to that. So grain silo, lowercase f, so that's going to read properly. So let's go to the placeables folder. I am going to farmhouse. It's free for all has to read true for multiplayer, so that has to stay in. And bought with the farmland is true, so that needs to stay in because you'll own it when you buy the farmhouse. So we can actually copy this, but I don't need these two lines for the grain silo. Let's see how I have it set up for my silo in this other map. So let's go back into the mountain map. Let's go back into placeables. Nope, I don't need any of that. So all I need is the one line farm silo. So actually, let's grab that line here. Control C. Let's go into the placeable folder here for this swamp map. It's going to be under main farm. So let's drop it here. It's going to be map directory placeables main farm, but it's going to be called the grain silo. Do I want to rename that? Actually, let's keep it consistent. So let's come back into here. We'll rename this farm silo. And we're actually going to call it a farm silo instead of a grain silo. So let's call that the farm silo. Let's call this a farm silo as well. This way we're consistent. We can leave the store photo and we can leave the i3D alone, but so it's going to be map directly main farm silo. It's going to read the correct XML. It has its own unique ID, bought with farmhouse true. So now we just need to spawn to get the correct location. So I'm going to grab that coordinate. It's going to go here. It's going to spawn in at a height of 25. I need this coordinate, which is going to go here. This tells it where to spawn into the game. And then our rotation is going to be 0, 0, 0. Now, I also need, let's go back into here, store item. I need the grain silo, farm silo, main farm, farm silo 2. I can grab this one and just rename it farm silo. Let's grab that one. I'm blind, so I need it in the mod description. So it's just going to be farm silo. And I need it in the store items. So with the silo, when we delete it out of the map, should now be working. So the farmhouse should spawn in, the doghouse should spawn in, this should spawn in. So farmhouse 4 is good. We have that working. So next up is going to be garage 01. Now I pulled this out of the flats map. So let's grab the placeables folder from here, and we want the garage 01, and it has all the animated objects because of all the doors. So we're going to want this in, oh, I have too many open in the placeables folder in the main farm. So map placeables, main farm, garage 01. Let me clean a couple things up. Let's get rid of the farm silos. We know that's going to be working. Garage 01, not that folder. Map placeables, main farm. Yeah, garage 01. I just want to make sure it's the correct one. And do I not have the store photo? I may not need the store photo. Let's look at garage 01. Does this one have all the animated doors? It does. So this is the one I want. I just want to make sure everything looks fine. Yeah, we shouldn't have to change anything. It is going to be, yep, so it's going to read the in-game store photo, and it's going to read the in-game i3D. So that should be fine. So garage 01, let me close the animal trader, just to give me a little bit more room up here. All right, so we grab that out of the placeables folder. So I want garage 01. So let's go into the flats map. I need the store items, and I need garage 01, this one. So we need that in the mod description, and we need that in the store items. Now let's get garage 01 in its correct, so it spawns it in the correct coordinates. So let me grab this location. I'm just going Control-C, Control-V. We're going to drop it in here. The height we need to change to 25. And then I need this coordinate here. And it's going to be 180, 0, 180 on the rotation. So now that building should spawn in as a placeable. Now we have, since there's two of these, we're going to need two XML folders. So this is going to be actually awning 01. And since it's not in another map, we're going to have to create it ourselves. So I'm done with this for now. Garage should be fine. We shouldn't need that XML anymore. This is the store items to the mountain map. Let's close that for a minute. This is the, we're going to have to open these back up. Let's just so I can have more room up here. So I'm going to want awning 01 from this. Where's my other map folder? Do I have them both on the flats map? I do. So this one I actually want on the swamp map. So placeables, main farm, awning 01, which is what this is. Let me just do another quick save. Alright, so this is awning 01. And I can spawn it in the placeables just like one of the easy sheds from the other map. So I'm going to come back into the mountain map. I'm going to go map. I'm going to go placeables. No, I'm not. I'm going to go map. I'm going to go config. I need the placeables XML open. Alright, so I can spawn this in just like any other shed. I'm going to grab, so it's bought with farmland true, so let's grab you for now. You'll work. This gives me a starting point. So it's going to map directly to placeables main farm, but the XML is awning 01. And then it's going to need its own unique ID. So I'm going to go awning 01, OM for old man, and then 010101. Just doesn't matter why. So now we need its position and rotation. So I'm going to grab this coordinate. We're going to throw it here. Its height is 25. And then we need this position to go here. And then its rotation is 0, 0, 0. So we can go 0, 0, 0 on the rotation. So that's going to almost get the first one working. But now we have to go into the mod description. I'm just going to copy this one. We're going to change the XML to awning 01. Let's save that. We need to also put it in the store directory. So let's pop it in there. Now, since we have two of them, they have to read separate. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it back in. We're going to rename it awning 02. Now it doesn't really matter. We're going to call it awning 02, but it's going to still read the same store photo and it's going to read the same i3D. But in the placeables, we have to call it awning 02 because it has to spawn in separately than awning 01. And then we just have to change its coordinates. So let's pull that back up. So it's still going to be 652.864.25, but we just have to change the Z position. So both of these sheds will now spawn in as placeables. So let's go to hangar 01, and we're going to need 3 of these. Oh, hang on. No, I got to back up here. So that was the first one. That was the first. Yep. So I missed this one. So hangar 01. And then we can come in here. We can do the same thing, but we know we're going to have 3 of them. So let me copy this one. So this is going to be hangar 01. And that's what the XML reads. Hangar 01. We're going to change this to hangar 01. Now, This is awning 02, which I messed up. I almost messed up. I'm going to go 020202 for absolutely no particular reasons. That's awning 01 has its own unique ID. Awning 02 now has its unique ID. Hanger 1 will have its own unique ID. So let's get the position correct for Hanger 01. So let's grab this coordinate and we'll throw it there. We will grab this coordinate. We will throw it there, and in rotation is going to be 0, 0, 0. So we don't need to mess with the rotation, but in the mod description, we need Hanger 01 save that, let me copy it, and we also need it in the store folder. So let's save that. All right, now that we have two more of them, let's go into the map folder. So now I got to take Hanger 01. Oh, I did make a Hanger 02. Oh, that's for that one. So let's go. Let's copy this one. Let's paste it back in. So we need 3 of these for Hanger 01 because we have 3 of them in the map. So let's rename it Hanger 01 2. Let's copy it, let's paste it in, and let's rename it Hanger 01 3 because we're going to have 3 of them. So we're going to have, and I'll show that. Let me back out and come back in. So we're going to have Hanger 01, Hanger 01 2, and Hanger 01 3 because each of them have to have its unique ID. So we go into placeables. Come back over. There we go. So we're going to copy this one. I'm going to go paste and paste. It's going to be Hanger 01 2, Hanger 01 3, Hanger 01 2, Hanger 01 3, and let's go 01 2, 01 2, 01 2. And this is going to be 013, 013, and 013, just so it has its own unique ID. So now we need its position for those two. So that was the first one. This will be the second one. So what's changing? Just the top numbers changing. So our X position needs to be changed. And then Hanger 013, we just have to change the X position again. Everything else should be the same. So let's save that. Now in the mod description, let me copy this one and let's go paste and paste. I need Hanger 012 and Hanger 013. Grab those two, and I also need them in the store folder. Alright, so now we have all 3 Hanger 01s, so we need to get Hanger 02 working. So now we come back into the placeables folder, and we take Hanger 01, let's copy that one. It's going to be Hanger 02. We can call it Hanger 02. And I can just go 02, 02, 02. And now we need its coordinates. So let's grab this. The height is 25. And our Z position is a little bit different. So let's get the Z position in. And it's also going to be 0, 0, 0. So let's save that. Now, mod description, I need hanger 02. So hanger 02. Let's copy that. Throw it into store items. Hanger 02. So that one's now should be working. This one we did because that was the other awning. Hanger 1's taken care of. The other hanger 1's taken care of. So let's get this garage working. Now I pulled this garage out of the mountain map. So let's see if we can figure out which one it is. So placeables. Is it garage or is it garage 2? I think it's garage 2, but I named it O2. So let's go into Richie Swamp Placeables main farm. I believe it's garage 02. It is. So we want garage 02. So I'm going to, just to make it easy, I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to throw it into the placeables folder here. But I named it garage 02 instead of 2, just to be consistent. So I can actually come here and just put garage 02. So let's grab its coordinates. So it's going to be this X position is going to go here. Its height is going to be 25. And its rotation is going to be 0, 90, 0. So that stays the same. So now I need in our mod description, I need a garage 02. So let's just grab this one from garage 01. We'll pull it down. And we'll call it garage 02. And then we'll go to our store items. We'll save it. And so that should also be garage 02. So we should have that now working. So now we need to get our tunnels working. And it's going to be tunnel large. So I pulled it out of the mountain map. So there should be a storage tunnel large. Let's copy that. We'll put it in our placeables folder. So it's going to be main farm storage tunnel large. Let's just make sure storage tunnel large, so that all matches. It has its own unique ID, bought with farmland true, so we just need its position. So let's grab that coordinate. It goes here. Our height is going to change to 25. And we need our Z position. And then our rotation is going to be 0, 0, 0. So I need storage tunnel large. So let's just go into the store items. So I need storage tunnel large. I'm actually going to grab storage tunnel large and storage tunnel large 2 because we're putting both of them in. So let's just throw them in the store items. And we'll throw them in the mod description. So now we just need to get this one working. Let's grab it out of the placeables since we have 2 of them. So let's just grab tunnel large 2. We can throw that one right in here. Now we just need its new coordinate. So our height let's just grab this for a minute. We'll just bring this whole thing down. And then the only thing that changed is, am I on tunnel 2? I am not. Let's go to tunnel 2. So the only thing that changed is the X location. So let's put that in. And we'll save that. So that's going to be large tunnel 1, large tunnel 2. They have their own unique IDs. So the only thing we have to do now is come in here. We need to copy this. And we need to name it large tunnel 2. So the only thing we have to get working, spawning in as a placeable, is our easy shed 3. So we're going to come back to the placeables folder. We're going to grab, I don't have it in this folder. Alright, so let's back up a minute. So it is, did I bring it over? Easy Shed 3. Easy Shed 03. So let's come in here. And it's going to come in here. So it's going to be pretty much the same as any of these. So let's grab awning 1. Let's bring that down. But it's going to be Easy Shed 03. I think it's a capital S. Let's double check that. Easy Shed 03 with a capital S. So Easy Shed 03. '03 Old Man 03 03 03. It has its unique ID, different than all the rest of them. Let's grab this coordinate. Has to go in here. Height is 25, so that doesn't change. Our Z coordinate changes, and it's also 0 0 0 on the rotation. Now, in the mod description, I'll just grab one of these, doesn't matter. We need Easy Shed 03. Save that. Copy that, and it's got to go in the store items. Easy Shed 03. So now we have all the XML work done for all of these buildings. Now, since everything's concrete, I'm not going to need any grass or foliage or flowers or anything like that in here. Let's just, yeah, I don't need anything. I'm going to leave this as just open grass. I'm going to leave this plain for now because I think, like I said, I think we're going to put like grass dryer, seed maker, fertilizer maker, maybe composter and that kind of stuff down along here. So here's the bravery test now. The grain silo gets deleted out. The farmhouse gets deleted out. And every one of these buildings gets deleted out because now they spawn in as placeables. So we do not need to leave them in the map. And let's save it. And then before I go in game, actually, let me do one thing really quick. Let me come in here and let's grab our foliage, harvest ready. Yeah, I just want to fill this in behind all these buildings so I know it's done. So let's just bring it along here. This way I know it's painted in and I won't forget it. Alright. So now that we have that done, let me save it again. And let's see what it looks like in game. Let's see if all the buildings spawn in and we don't have any errors. Then I'm going to get out of here for the night, I think. So I got to do the dishes, eat a little bit more. I only ate like half a dinner, so I need to eat a little bit more, get dinner done, clean up that mess, and get my lunch and stuff ready for work tomorrow. So let's jump in, new game, save. I'm going to turn this on. I want to see if we get any warnings or errors other than a couple of mods. Yep, so if something turned red, so one of our XML files is messed up. So we're going to let everything load, and we're going to go look at that error. So something's not spawning in properly. We got a bunch of stuff that's throwing errors. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, now that we're loaded 100%, it's going to give us all of our errors. I'm just going to go ahead and close that window. We're not even going to go into the game. We're going to come in here, we're going to go into the log. I'm going to come all the way to the top. I'm going to go Control Find, and I'm going to go Error. So now we're going to look at all the errors. So the first error is the main farm garage 01. Failed to open XML. Richie Swamp Map Placeables main farm. Garage 01, Garage 01 XML. So why is that not spawning it? So let's look at our placeables. Let's come all the way down here. So everything should be good. So it should be map placeables main farm. Map placeables main farm lower F. Garage 01. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. I think all these XMLs have an uppercase. So let's just close everything out. And let's look through. So let's go into the map folder. So Garage 01 is throwing an error. I don't have Garage 01 in here. That's why. Now, which one did I mess up? This is supposed to be Garage 02. Let's go back to placeables. Main farm Garage 01. Placeables. We don't have a Garage 01, we have a Garage 02. So mod description should be Garage 02. No, this is Garage 02. We have Garage 01. These are all lowercase f. So I think the problem is going to be, why don't I not have Garage 01? Garage 01. I don't even have a store photo for Garage 01. But I thought Garage 01 was that big. Did I forget to bring it in? Let's jump in here for a minute. It's going to be in the flats map. So mods, flats, map, placeables. Main farm. Crap. Garage 01. Is Garage 01? Yeah, you have all the doors. So this is the big red barn right in the middle. So why do I not have Garage 01? Right here, Garage 01. Why do I not have this in my folder? Richie Swamp Map Placeables. I don't have Garage 01 in here. So Garage 02 is, yeah, that's a different door. Okay, I think. Let's look at Garage 02 real quick. I just want to make sure I have Grado 1 and Grado 2 defined properly. Let's just open this one up. Yeah, so that's Grado 2. So Grado 1 I don't have in the main folder. So let's come in here. Let's grab this and we'll throw it in here. So I just missed the XML. Forgot to put it in the folder. Let's go back to our log. So that's all Grado 1. So Hanger 01, Hanger 012, Hanger 013, and Hanger 02 are not spawning in as well. So main farm lowercase. So what was the first one? Hanger 01. Hanger. Haha. All right. So let's rename this Hanger. 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 So that should fix those. So I had it spelled wrong there. Alright, so next error. Alright, so those are all fixed. Grado 1, Hanger 01, Hanger 01. Okay, those are all fixed. Did I fix Hanger 02? I did. Alright, so those are all fixed. What else is not right? Okay, so what do we have? So we, Richie Swamp props i3D did not spawn in. Farm silo could not load. Okay, so I missed the farm silo props. So I think I know what I did. So let's come back in here. So that's going to be the farm silo. It was grain silo. We renamed it farm silo. So in here, I believe it's going to need a props. It's going to refer to a props i3D right there. So I believe that was this one. No, that was in this one. This was the grain silo system. And I'm going to need the props i3D. Did I bring the props over? I did not. So let's grab, let me just make sure this is the correct one. It is. I missed the props. Okay, so let's grab the props i3D. Let's go File, Export Selection with Files. It's going to be Map, Placeables, Main Farm Props. And I'm going to call the props silo, just in case we have another one that we have to bring the props in for. So now we're going to come back in here. We're going to name this props silo. But I also need, I do. So it's going to need to name maps placeables main farm. It's going to need to read that path. So now that all of our errors should be fixed, let's go back in game. Oh, hang on. Before I go back in here, let's pull the map back up. Crap, I want to spawn the farmhouse back in. Let's go File, Import, Farmhouse 4. And then let's grab its coordinates. Because I want to move the starting location. So let's grab these coordinates. And it's going to be minus 180, minus 180. So it's going to be minus 180, minus 180. And I want to grab the career start point. And let's go edit interactive placement. Now, eventually we're going to have a vehicle parked here. So I'm going to put it off to the side a little bit. Do I want to start you off on the front? Actually, let's see if we can get you started off right on the front porch. So I'm going to go edit interactive placement. Let's put it right there. And I think blue is where you're actually facing. So let's put it there. We have to delete the farmhouse back out and then save it. Now, we should spawn in right there on the porch. This is why it takes months to build a map. Let's come back in here. Let's turn this on so I can see any errors and warnings. Because I never get them all fixed the first try. It's usually like 3 tries before I get all the warnings and errors fixed. Yeah, something's still messed up. Something's still messed up. All right. So I'm going to close this again without saving. So let's come in here. Let's pull our log back up. And let's go back up to the top. Let's just scroll up this way. We're going to go control find. I'm going to go error. And what's messed up now? So now it's reading the XML, but it's not reading the I3D because the I3D is also misspelled. So I need hanger 1 and hanger 2. So let's come in here. So it's reading HANGER. I3D could not be found. So it's HANGER. 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 Crap, I gotta change every one of these. Alright, farm silo I could probably close now. So that one's fixed. HANGER. I should have checked these as well. HANGER. HANGER. Alright, so let's go back to the log. So those two are fixed. Those two are fixed. Those are fixed. Alright, that's the end of our errors. Alright, so we should be good this time. So we should load this time. In the very first map I built that I never released, I had one of those errors where, first of all, it wouldn't read the XML. So it took me like, because I didn't know what I was doing, so it took me like an hour to figure out why it wouldn't read the XML. And after about an hour, I finally figured out I had like a capital letter versus a lowercase letter. And then it threw an I3D error, and it literally took me like 8 hours to figure out that I didn't have a capital letter in. And I learned from that mistake. Trust me, that never happened again until today. That was my fault for spelling it wrong. I think we're error free. Cool. So we should spawn in right on the front. The doghouse is still missing. What the hell's wrong with the doghouse? Let's go. So we got to figure out why the doghouse won't spawn. But all of these buildings should now be working. All right, and we have my colored icons in, so all the triggers should be working. We should have working doors here now. We do. I should have working doors here now. We do. Beautiful. All of our sheds are in. Missing one. Okay, so we're missing. We have hangar 1. We're missing hangar 2, and we're missing the other garage. So something's not right. So I'm missing a second hangar, and I'm missing the other garage. But they're not throwing errors. And that's really bizarre. Now, so I got to figure out why hangar 1 spawned in, but hangar 2 didn't. And now I got to figure out why the garage did not spawn in and the doghouse is missing. But let me try something really quick. Let's go store delivery mod. I want to grab a truck really quick. Nope. I want to grab a car really. I want to grab. No, I wanted a truck. Let's grab back to trucks. Where's my little truck? Where's my modded little lizard? Right here. I'm going to grab this guy. Let's throw the extension on him. I'm going to lease him real quick. Because what I want to do is I want to jump in here. We're going to cheat in some wheat. There we go. I just want to make sure that these triggers work. Now we got to figure out why those other items are not spawning in. So we can dump it. Yep, I can dump it without a problem. I'm going to... Does it read that we have wheat? It does. Now can I take it back out? I can. Beautiful. Alright, so the silo is working. I'm going to love that complex, man. Now, so let's figure out why hangar 2 and garage 2 are, those are the only two buildings not spawning in, right? Yep, I left the extra parking space here. So let's figure out why hangar 2 and the garage is not spawning in, but it's not throwing any errors. Sometimes you just pull your hair out with this stuff. So I'm going to start here. So let's come back into the placeables folder. So we have awning 1, awning 2 did not spawn in. I have the different coordinates. So awning 2, mod description, awning 1. We don't have awning 2. So I don't think we have awning 2. I don't. So let's go Copy, paste. We need awning 2. It wasn't reading it here. So I'm going to copy that. Let's throw it in the store folder. Awning 1. Awning 2. And then garage 2. Garage 2 should be the one with the repair bay. Well, I'm calling it garage 2. Let me just make sure. Yeah, it's garage 02. So GARAGE02. So I have it in the storage. GARAGE02. I have it here. GARAGE02. I have it here. GARAGE02. I have it here. GARAGE02. So it's reading the I3D. Why is the I3D? Why is it not spawning in? It's all zeros. GARAGE02. Map placeables main farm. Oh, store. No. Main farm. Map placeables main farm. Lowercase f. Garage 02. Map placeables main farm. Lowercase f. Garage 02. Map placeables main farm. Garage 02. I3D. Can be sold true, 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 and true. I don't see why it's not spawning in. And it's not throwing an error in the log. Let's come back up top. Control find, error. Okay. Dragon. Unit field type 2 and dragon. Okay, that's a mod. I'll figure that out, but that's a mod. So there's no other errors. They're a warning. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. That's fine. Duplicate entry, multiplayer, multiplayer, multiplayer. So why is the garage not spawning it? Max directory main farm, garage 02. It has its own unique ID. Bought with the farm, true. Position looks correct. Rotation looks correct. So we have it here. We have it here. I have it here. Let's look at the doghouse. The garage 02 has me stumped. It's reading the I3D from in-game. Why is the doghouse not? The dog is showing up, but the doghouse is not showing up. Maybe it's capital H versus lowercase h. Let's go this PC, Steam, Steam Apps, Common, FS25. Let's look at the doghouse again. Doghouse, all lowercase. Doghouse, all lowercase. Brandless animal hunters, doghouse, doghouse, animal. So everything's the same. So it should be reading. There's no difference at all in the i3ds. So doghouse, lowercase. Main farm, lowercase. Doghouse, all lowercase. Bought the farmland, true. Position is correct. Rotation is correct. Mod description. Main farm, doghouse. Store items. Main farm, doghouse. Don't know why the doghouse is not spawning it. Don't know why the garage is not spawning in. Well, let's jump in here one more time and see if I fixed anything. And I'm going to call it a night. I may figure to try and mess around with this off camera. We're already gone 2 hours. It's weird that the dog's spawning in, but not the doghouse, and it's not throwing any errors. That's completely bizarre. Because it's so the map's reading the XML because it's not throwing any errors, and the XML is reading the i3D because it's not throwing any errors. So what did I do wrong that they will not spawn in? Yeah, so the doghouse is still not spawning in. So I got to figure out why we have a dog but no house. Unless I put it in the wrong coordinates. It's not. Is it inside the house? So the doghouse may be in the wrong coordinates. What are you? You're the farm silo. All right. So I got to still figure out why the doghouse is not spawning in. Is it in like? Did I put it? I may have put it in the wrong coordinates. So I'll check the coordinates. Yep. So. Okay, so we got the second hangar to spawn in, but I still cannot get this garage to spawn in. And I think that's the only two things I have to fix. So all these sheds are fine. Those sheds are fine. We left this little bit of space here in case you want to do something with it. I got to figure out why the garage O2 won't spawn in. And I got to figure out why the doghouse won't spawn in. But I'm not going to mess with it tonight. So I got two problems to solve. So, but I'm going to get out of here. I'm Old Man 102. Please smash that like and subscribe on your way out and have an awesome day.